Hello, welcome back to First Thoughts. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on Rental Family, the new film starring Brendan Fraser and... Hello!
Well, that was a movie.
We saw Rental Family, which is the new film written and directed by Hikari, which is starring Brendan Fraser. There we go.
Hey.
If you don't know anything about this movie, you haven't seen any trailers or anything, it's about an American actor. He's not really American anymore. He's been in Japan for 7 years, but he is originally from America. Minnesota, in fact. Doesn't have Minnesotan accent at all. But anyway, he's an actor, a struggling actor, who got some commercial work back in the day and has been struggling to get work ever since. He ends up stumbling into a business opportunity where he is an actor for specific situations where he's playing to certain people, real life people. So, for instance, the most important one of this is a woman hires him to pretend to be the father of her daughter. That's basically the main premise. According to the trailer, there's a lot more to this movie than that, and I was a little surprised by that because the trailer made it seem like it was going to be just that. But
I'm very glad it wasn't just that.
because it was going to be so predictable and lame.
Insanely.
But there was a lot more to it than that. It's always refreshing watching Asian films. I guess it's not just Asia, but like non-American films, because they don't follow all of the same tropes we do. They do follow tropes, but they're not our tropes.
Yeah.
And that can be refreshing because I walked in thinking I knew exactly beat for beat how this entire movie was going to go, and I didn't, so I'm grateful for that. I thought you were going to say something, so I paused. My bad.
And I thought you were going to continue. So I didn't expect the pause.
Yeah, so Brendan Fraser, I've loved him my whole life. He's such a fun actor, but I think for a long time he'd been kind of considered just like a goofball, one-off kind of thing with the Mummy series, as well as George of the Jungle, but, generally silly movie roles that nobody gave him a whole lot of credit for.
Right.
And then The Whale happened, and he got the Oscar, and all of a sudden a lot of people gave him a lot of respect. I think some people also accused him of overacting in that movie, but hey, that's kind of what it takes to get an Oscar. I thought he was brilliant in that movie. I'm not taking anything away from that. I thought this might be my new favorite performance by him, though. I really enjoyed him in this movie.
Interesting. I've not seen The Whale, so I'll have to check that out sometime.
Mm.
I've also always loved Brendan Fraser. Toss in Doom Patrol for his performances for me. I like him.
Looney
Yeah,
Tunes
so-
back in action.
Oh, please. Loved it. I fully knew he'd bring it. You know what to expect with Brendan Fraser if you've seen enough of his work.
Yeah.
And I expected nothing but what we got from him. And it was
Yeah.
great what we got from him. I, from the trailer as well, very much thought this was just going to solely focus on
Yeah.
the family with the child. And I was pretty disappointed in my belief there. I feel like I've seen that a dozen times
Right.
over.
Like I was saying, like you knew exactly beat for beat,
Yeah.
according to that vision, if it was an American film, how it would have gone.
Yeah.
And I would have been like rolling my eyes the whole time, going like, all right, now this is going to happen. And now this is going to happen. Oh, it's the third act. Now this is going to happen. And they didn't really do that. And I appreciated that because there was some other families, other characters he interacted with that I enjoyed their stories maybe even more than the family.
I absolutely enjoyed
Yeah.
at least the other main
storyline.
storyline. I enjoyed that more because I still found the family storyline to be fairly predictable
Sure.
most of the way through. The ending was slightly different, but like I fully expected us to get where we got in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe
They took a slightly different route than
Yeah,
an
just a
American
little bit.
film would have, but yes.
I expected some detours, but it still hit most of the beats. So I am very glad for the inclusion of those other storylines. They really
Including-
made the movie for me.
Including storylines that didn't have anything to do with... Well, I guess they did have to do with his job, but not him interacting with families. Like, there was, like,
Yep.
co-worker stuff with his boss.
It was interesting to see their stuff
Yeah.
because I did not expect the stuff with the boss. I heard you
I did.
Yeah, I heard you say that you saw that one coming, and I thought, I never even questioned it for a second. It makes sense now, but I just never even questioned it.
It pissed me off. The guys behind us, I was going to turn and look at them because they were talking the entire movie,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see what these idiots looked like, because one guy was talking. It was clearly another version of us,
Right.
where there was the movie guy and the non-movie guy. And so the guy kept telling him stuff, and his information was always bad. And I was like, stop spreading falsehoods, good sir. And at one point, that scene, which we'll get more to in spoilers because I don't want to talk about it yet, it took him like 5 minutes to get it.
I heard
and then
him-
he's like, oh, now I get it. I'm like, now you get it?
I heard his realization there. I was like, dang, you didn't notice as soon as the mess up happened? It didn't click immediately.
I was like, what else could... Anyway, don't want to spoil it. I do want to double back real quickly before we move on to my note about Brendan Fraser, maybe it being his best performance. I think a lot of people will probably automatically disagree and say The Whale, obviously, clearly, because, like I said, that won Best Actor. This role may not even result in a nomination. Probably won't. It's not that kind of role. Maybe it will be cool if it did, but I don't expect it to.
For him, probably not.
Yeah. I do think the older guy, Akira Emoto, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was a great character. But yeah, so Brendan Fraser, what he blew me away with in this role was, like I said, for Oscars, they almost kind of prefer if you overact. And I once again, don't want to say he was bad in The Whale. I thought he was phenomenal in The Whale. But it's very easy to get noticed for good acting when the acting is large. It's hard to be a good actor and be large because you could very easily go into overacting, and he nailed it. But what's even harder to me, in a lot of ways, not entirely, but in a lot of ways, it's really hard to also be genuinely great while a completely subdued and subtle character. And that's what Brendan Fraser was in this movie, was he was completely a subdued, normal guy. Like, there weren't big reactions to anything. He got upset a little bit, he got happy a little bit, but there weren't any, he wasn't screaming for any reason, he wasn't sobbing for any reason. It wasn't, like I said, it's the opposite of The Whale, where every reaction is huge. No pun intended. He's very large in that movie. In this movie, everything's subdued. Everything is natural, and I thought he really nailed it. Now, like I said, not everybody's going to agree that it's the best performance of a career or anything, but I thought he was great, and I really enjoyed him in this movie. But hey, I mean, the cast in general was good. I thought this movie was just really, honestly, a lot of fun to watch. Fun, and I mean, it's tough because I would kind of categorize this as like a feel-good movie, but it's also very sad at the same time. So it's kind of just like, I don't know.
I would say feel good, because yes, there is sadness in this movie, but
Right.
by the end, I don't know if that's spoiler or not, but
Right.
I feel like you're left supposed to be feeling good by the end of this movie.
It's a rainbow movie because it's gay. No, because there's a lot of rain, but it puts a shine to it. It puts a spin on it, where it's like it makes the sadness have a purpose and a meaning. And so, I mean, I really enjoy that because I love sad movies. I also love movies with endings that are happy but are earned. And this does both, where it's sad and manages to still have a happy ending that doesn't feel cheap in any way.
Yeah.
So I really genuinely enjoyed this movie. Not to say it's without fault. I thought some of it was a little clunky. I wish there were certain things, certain dynamics that were fleshed out a little bit more. For instance, I thought that the daughter, when he first met her, this is a minor spoiler, but not really, she went from wanting nothing to do with him to loving him so quickly. I was like, I wish there was a little bit more time spent on that.
Yeah.
If the whole movie had just been about their relationship versus all the things he was doing, they definitely would have spent more time on that.
Absolutely.
But I felt like they were trying to do a lot in a little time. Granted, it was like 2 hours or whatever it was. But still, I wish they had a little bit more breathing room with some of the things that they were trying to tackle. But overall, I still really enjoyed it, and I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about it.
Honestly, I wouldn't have minded if they added some runtime to this
Yeah,
to flesh out that relationship a bit.
yeah,
I'm just very glad this wasn't solely focused on that, because I liked their story,
mm-hmm,
but even still, fairly predictable. Just some slight variations on,
sure.
the classic tale. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I gosh, my expectations were so low going into
Really?
this outside of Brendan Fraser. Outside of him, because I
Yeah.
really thought it was about the family.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sit here and just like have the whole movie in my head and see
Yeah.
like two variations on this formulaic tale, and then we're going to end in, you know, like one of three places.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly,
It didn't.
no, and it was a lot better. I really enjoy the inclusion of the other character struggles and the other
Once
people.
again, I wish there was more.
Yeah,
Especially
no.
because certain characters kind of came and then went, and you're like, maybe she didn't. But like, I was like, there was no resolution there. And then at
Yeah.
one point, you're like, are they a thing now? Because it seemed kind of like it, but they didn't say anything. I was like, I hope not. And then, so I just was like, I don't know. Like, I wish there was. That's my only real complaint, I suppose, is I just wanted more, you know, substance to some things that were happening, more context to some things that were happening. Just flesh it out a little bit more. Like you said, add a little bit. Add 15 minutes. You don't have to add a lot of runtime to really just make this feel a little bit more complete.
Yeah.
But overall, I really did enjoy it. I don't think I can go all the way to an 8. I'm going to give it a strong 7.5. But I did really enjoy it. And maybe you could change my mind.
I don't know if I could get you to an 8.
Well, I looked at the camera. I wasn't talking to you. But maybe you could too. I don't know.
I don't know. I could get you to an 8, but a 7.5, 8 feels about fair. 8 seems strong.
Yeah.
It does. And
Yeah.
7 kind of feels low, but you know, I really did enjoy it. I had a much better time than I fully expected going in, and I would definitely watch this again.
I would definitely watch it again too. And I can't wait to, because this movie legitimately actually had me guessing a couple points, which you would never expect watching this trailer, that the plot would leave any room for doubt about anything.
And that's the beauty of the inclusion of those other characters and those
Yeah.
other storylines.
Yeah.
That thankfully, at least most, I didn't see all of it coming. Like, some
No.
things you might be able to, but their storylines are not formulaic, and we're not very familiar with this industry that is being displayed in this movie as well. So that probably helped there too.
Yeah, how real is this
I
world?
believe it's fairly real to an extent. I don't know how far they go, but like I
Yeah.
was saying, that other story that I've heard of, I believe is the same sort of deal,
Yeah.
but the renting the girlfriend side of thing.
Yeah.
So I
'Cause
have
I've
to assume
heard-
they're both based off of somewhat real industry, if not completely real.
Yeah, because I've heard of, like, obviously in more, like, Mexican culture, there's, like, mourners you can get.
Right.
People that would cry at funerals, but this goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have heard stories about something like this in Japan, but, like, I'm not in tune with the culture enough to be like, oh, yeah, totally, that's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't. I believed some portions of it were real. I did not know it was this deep. If it is exactly like the movie portrays,
Right.
I didn't expect all the various options.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was exaggerated. I also wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I
No.
mean, it seems like a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Or not. But anyway, that's what we had to think. We want to get into spoilers now, so we're gonna. So if you don't want anything spoiled, you should click away, go watch it, come back, and we can talk about it then. But don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. So, how much time do we have? We've got...
It was
we're
10:30,
doing-
right?
Yeah, so we've
Okay.
got like 15 minutes-ish.
All right.
We're doing good. So, I gotta say, I thought that old dude was gonna die so many times. I thought he was dead so many times. I thought he jumped into the fucking river.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna climb up the tree and fall down. I thought when he fell down he was dead. Actually, I thought he was gonna jump over the railing at that point.
Yeah.
And then when he fell over, I thought he was dead. He was just so many fake out deaths. And then the one time I wasn't ready for him to die, he did. I was like, holy shit, dude.
When he got the call, I thought it was gonna be about the
girl.
the girl again.
Yeah.
And then he got sad, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I
stealing
thought
him
they
was
were
close.
about to like have a reunion, or she was gonna be like, I found you out and I hate you, and he was gonna have to go apologize or something. I thought we were done with the old guy's arc at that point. Completely.
gosh.
And then it's just like, oh, and he's dead. I was like, oh, well, Yeah.
But yeah, when he disappeared
Yeah.
after he woke up, I also thought he went out and killed himself.
Yeah.
It's like, I got what I wanted now. I'm
'Cause
not
they
going to go out that
They had
way.
just shown this like beautiful shot of like
The cliffs in the water.
cliffs and water and rocks, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, he fell in.
No,
he for sure
he
fell
walked
in.
right in.
And then it's like he's there and he's at a tree. I'm like, oh, so he's not dead yet, but that's a tree and he's alone. He's gonna do something, and then Brendan Fraser comes over the hill. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, hey, you doing all right? I'm like, oh, he's about to die. There's a railing right there. He's gonna trip over it. And then he does fall over here. And I'm like, and he's dead. And then they're in the hospital, like, he's fine. I'm like, no, he's not. But yeah, that's another moment too that I really thought we were gonna spend more time on, was like the legal battle of like trying to prove his innocence, and I guess that's not the point of it. So we kind of skimmed right by it. But they're like, we're gonna go talk to him. Next scene, he's fine. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, once all three of them showed up
Yeah.
to bail him out,
Which was a great scene.
I did love that. I figured it was gonna resolve quickly. I did think we'd see a
Something.
little bit of the conversation.
Something, yeah.
Just a quick, hey, help us out here. You know, we gotta get him out of this jam. And
Yeah.
But I guess it was fine to skip past it. We really didn't need to see the resolution.
Bleeding.
I didn't expect them to actually punish him, as long as
Right.
the old man could say anything.
Right, because it's like he didn't do anything wrong legally, because he just did what the old guy told him to do.
Yeah, the old guy's an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He's a caretaker. He's elderly.
So based on the trailer and what we thought, it seemed so obvious we were gonna, and I know I shouldn't blame Mrs. Doubtfire for this, because they're far from the first to do the trend, but it's just always been in my recollection the first movie I saw like this, where it's just you see an inevitable awkward ending coming, and you're going straight for it and you can't avoid it and you hate every second of it. And so I just knew at some point she's gonna find out he's not really her dad.
Yeah, of course.
And there's gonna be a fallout,
Of
and then he's
course.
gonna have to go back and win her back, and then
Something like
maybe
that.
he'll marry her mom. Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't know how exactly that was going to work out, but you knew he was going to be back in her life by the end of the movie somehow.
Yeah. And then that's not the direction it goes. Granted, he does end up getting her back, but he leaves her life before she finds out that he's not really her dad.
Which was surprising. I didn't
Yeah.
think they'd actually make him have to do that.
Yeah.
But in the end, she does find out
Mm-hmm.
that he wasn't her father. And in the end, they do have their little reconciliation, even if, he's not with the mom, which was great, which is fine.
Yeah, I
they
didn't
never,
want him to end up with the
yeah,
mom.
they didn't set up any of that at all. And just nothing but
What-
real conflict between the two. So
What was weird was it seemed like they were setting up, at first, him and the prostitute lady. I don't remember her name.
I
It
don't
seemed
remember
like
her giving a name, but yes.
I think there was a name, because when she's the fortune teller, I think she says her name in that
Oh,
scene.
yes.
And that scene made me go, oh, there's something here with them. Also, granted, she said, here's 10 minutes for free, so she's at least being nice to him. So you're like, is there something
Man,
going
he's probably
on
a repeat
here?
customer.
Yeah, clearly he was. And then they drop that entirely. And then they start to be like, oh, him and his coworker. I'm like, what are we doing? There's no chemistry here. Let's not do that. And the last time we see them together, he's got his arm around her waist. I'm like, why? And so I'm just like, they never explicitly say any sort of romantic thing happens. And I'm glad, because I'm like, that would have been so shoehorned in there. It wouldn't have made any sense. So I'm glad they kind of just stopped there.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just a friendly hug because we know you're upset kind of thing. But yeah, so that was a little bit weird. But once again, I just wish these other characters were developed more. Like the prostitute lady, you see her the first time. If that was it would have been fine. You're like, okay, it's the prostitute he sleeps with sometimes. They have a relationship, a working relationship. But then you see her again later at this fair, and you're like, okay, so now there's a character arc happening here. We're seeing her again. And then, no, we drop it and never see her again. And then there's this stuff with his coworkers. I'm like, I want to see that develop more. I wanted to see more about, their personal lives too. We get to see that tiny snippet of the boss. Turns out his home life is completely fake.
Yeah.
He's hired actors to make his life look happy, which was fun. A little bit commentary of like, the people try so hard to make everybody else's lives happy, but their lives are sad too. That was fun. I enjoyed that, but I was like, I just wanted more
Yeah.
of all of that.
Because I don't know what tipped you off outside of just mere speculation and
Yeah.
writing. But
There was some dialogue about like them hiring people to, not by him, but I just kind of connected the dots, and I was just like,
Yeah.
if we're going back into his house, that's for sure all fake, because
Yeah.
there's no other reason to be here. That was my thought process.
fair enough.
And then he went, "Can we do this again?" And I was like, ha 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 ha! I knew it.
You squeezed me too hard. I thought it was gonna be like angry, abusive husband thing. And it's just no. Can we just start over?
And then they do it again, and he gets upset again, and then he leaves, and then he starts apologizing, and that's when Doofus behind us goes, "No, I get it." I'm like, "What took you so long?" I got it the second he walked into the room. Anyway, it was funny. But yeah, it's like all of this is good. I don't think there was anything bad about the movie. It was just one of those situations where there was a lot of good things that I wanted more of.
Yeah, I would have been fine for them to drop the prostitute character for some extra time for the
Sure.
his
How long
roommates.
was the movie though?
Like an
it-
hour 50, I think.
Yeah.
Like I liked her stuff, but like if we
it's
had
not
to,
even an hour 43.
Yeah.
Make it round it out to 2 hours. Even give me 2:10. I want to see more about this.
Yeah.
Like what about the guy he played video games with 3 times and then went to a strip club with?
Yeah.
I want to know more about that guy. Like I expected maybe I was in a dark headspace because I was expecting death so often in this movie that never really came into fruition. Eventually the old guy did. But when she went to, like, they were starting to show how dangerous this business or how bad this business can go.
Yeah.
And the lady keeps going to be the other woman in these situations. I was ready for that woman to pull out a gun and shoot her. I was like, because that's the kind of shit that would happen in these situations. She just got slapped. I was expecting an escalation where somebody pulls a gun on her. And then it was just like, nope, ha ha ha. And I was like, what is this movie rated again? Because I was expecting this movie to be darker, and it did not go there at all.
see, there's two things about that. First off, these situations are too controlled. All right, it's
Yeah.
public apology.
That one was in their house.
Okay, that one was in their house, but
That's what I was expecting, the gun.
still, it's controlled. They got her standing.
This was a
husband for
Korean
apology.
film. There would have been more death.
But
Koreans are dark,
But-
man. I guess so are Japanese movie. I mean, anime is so dark sometimes.
yeah.
But anyway.
But second thing, guns. What do you think this is, America? You think these some random
Fine,
citizen's gonna
pull out a
gun?
katana. I don't give a shit.
That's a
Do
lot more
something.
likely.
I don't give a shit. I just was expecting death much more throughout this movie than we got.
I wasn't expecting death, but I did really want to see more of her struggle because
Yeah.
they kept her struggle pretty much solely focused on the one apology jobs for
Right.
pretending to be.
Which is a poor title for that, by the way. Because when they say apologies are our most common work thing,
Yeah.
I was like, that's so wholesome. Because they just, like, people are hiring them just to hear somebody apologize to them. Isn't that so nice? Or lonely, I guess it's sad too. But that's what I swore they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, it's because it's like this situation where, oh, here's my mistress. She's going to apologize for being my mistress. I'm like, oh, okay. Couldn't we just apologize for you having a shitty life or something?
See, they said the apology jobs, and then they show the one like businessman trying to like apologize to the executives. I thought they were gonna be more like that too.
I don't know that was an apology job. I think that was more of a BDSM kink or something, which I love that scene too. This movie was great. I just wanted more, is all I'm saying. I just wanted more.
And that's why I like the prostitute angle too. Like it's good. I enjoyed their little connection together.
We're the same.
He's kind of
Yeah.
hiring his own little rental family, even though she provides different services.
Yeah.
Some wifely services maybe. But still, if we had to pick and choose,
Right.
that's the one to go. But I would rather them just add some time on and flesh more of the rest of them out.
You could easily add a half hour to this movie and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be too long. Like I said, it's an hour 43. Add a half an hour to that shit.
Also, I feel like this is a strange one. How often do we ever say add time to a movie?
When it's good, but there's not enough, man.
I feel like that doesn't happen very often.
No, it probably doesn't. I've definitely felt this way about movies before, though.
Oh, yeah, but...
But it's more
It's a
often
rare
that people
feeling.
could cut some shit.
Yeah.
This was not the case. They should have added shit, and I would have been happy to see it. And I hope there's a secret director's cut out there somewhere that will be released soon that I can love every second of.
What you got for us, Hikari?
Yeah. Find it for me. If it doesn't exist, make it. Yeah, no, I really did enjoy it though. The cast was great. It was a wonderful little story. That's just like I said. It's a I don't know if there's a term for it, but I'm sticking with rainbow film right now because it's a sad movie with a silver lining to it. And I really just enjoyed that, where it's like it hits you in all sorts of emotional ways, where it's sad at times, it's happy at times, it's wholesome, it's heartwarming, and it's also bleak at times. And I loved the whole arc to it. I just, like I keep saying, wish the experience could have been a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's definitely really the only real complaint here. God, that old man story was so good.
It was. I really enjoyed that. And especially how the movie ended, too. Where, so, like, he's kind of dropping spiritual wisdom on Brendan Fraser throughout their relationship. And Brendan Fraser's been an atheist since he was 16.
Yep.
Which, I don't know how old he is now, but I would assume at least 30 years older than 16.
I was going to say, yeah, he's definitely in his 40s at least.
And so, at one point, he's like leaving this little temple area, and he goes, "What's in there anyway?" And he goes, "You want to see it? Go see." And he goes, maybe later." So you know he's going to have to come back to that. It takes all the way into the last scene of the movie for him to look in, and they'd had this conversation about how many gods are there, where is God? And what the old man says is, have you ever heard the theory of 8,000 gods? What it means is there's a sun god, there's a moon god, there's a tree god, there's this god. God is in everything, even in you, you know? And It's kind of like you can be the goodness in the world is kind of, I think, the message they're going for. And Brendan Fraser's character has really been struggling with that because for a time there, it seems that every time he tries to do something good, something bad happens. And so he's trying to feel not beat up about it. And then at the end, he opens the temple. Actually, the curtain opens for him, and when he looks in, there's a mirror staring back at him, reminding him that God is in him, and he is God, and all of that. And it's just like, oh, that's beautiful. And that's how the movie ends. It was just such a cute movie. I really enjoyed this. This was a good time. I really recommend it. I really do. It was very well made. Check it out if you can. It's not showing everywhere, but it's probably showing somewhere near you. So check it out if you can. Support them so we can get more movies like this.
Yeah, I'll definitely see what's up next out from Hikari.
Yeah, and Brendan Fraser. Love him.
Well, yeah, that's an obvious one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.